What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Yesterday, Billlie released their second mini-album, and we're checking it out tonight. Sorry I didn't get to it immediately, but I just wasn't feeling well yesterday. So we're going to start with the title track, GingaMingaYo, The Strange World, in this video. And then in the next video, I'm going to do the other 4 tracks. So really excited about this. Billlie is a group that I stand on first listen during Ring Ring. So got high hopes for this, so let's check this out. Best label intro ever. What does that say? Until you... What did that say? Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So until you get self-awareness and self-understanding, you're going to chalk everything up to fate as opposed to your own thoughts and feelings actually bringing things to you or taking you into certain situations, I guess. So, okay, cool. I wonder where that quote is from. Let's go back. Also, this is a 5-minute video, so I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of story. Cards. Toys. Whoa. Oh shit. Okay. Interesting mix. Like the bass. And there's the actual bass. Okay, cool. I was wondering about that. It's a vibe. Ooh. Where are we going? It is a ring ring. Okay, we're going to pause here before we get into this, what I think is going to be the second verse. Yes, it is a ring ring. I had mentioned in the previous video, the album preview, that ring ring is what drew me in, right? But it feels, at least so far what we heard in the album preview and also in their Christmas release, that their direction was always going somewhere else. But I had hope for this particular song that it was still going to keep some of that ring ring vibe, and it does. And it's not necessarily in the darkness of it, because this song is brighter than Ring Ring and not as hard-edged, but it's interesting the way Ring Ring was. And I'm not sure, I mean, it's got a lot of views. I'm wondering how it's being accepted, but it is different. And I want to hear that drop into the chorus again, because I think I know why. But obviously on just a first listen, I don't want to make assumptions yet. So we're going to take this back a little bit and let it vibe into the second verse. But I really love the chorus they chose to go into, because it's story driven, right? This isn't necessarily, it's not that it isn't catchy, but it's meant to tell the story, which is really, really cool. So let's see how they follow this up. And it's what makes Billlie Billlie. Same bass all the way through, same bass tone. Oof. That was sick. That was interesting. Yes. Okay. I got it. I was wondering what gives it, what makes it sound like Billlie? Like, why is this different? Why did it hit me like Ring Ring? And I think I just realized what it was. So they did it twice. So the build-up going into the chorus, they're doing gang vocals, they're counting down, and then you hear this ah type of thing, right? It's something that K-pop uses a lot. Twice uses it a lot. Sometimes it's children's voices, things like that. Those samples that we hear all over. And at the very end, right before the drop, there's a little radio effect voice. And right away, it brought to mind Stacy, because Stacy does that a lot too. There's a little voice, and then all of a sudden it goes into the Stacy thing, which is this bright, bubbly thing most of the time, right? And this whole drop, or this whole buildup, makes it feel like it's going to go into this bright, bubbly K-pop thing, but they don't. And that's what makes it hit. So let's hear this again and see if you guys agree with me. It feels like it's going somewhere poppy and bright, and it just totally doesn't, which is what makes that chorus hit. So let's go back. Probably went back too far, as usual. And that we're going to talk about. That. But we go into this as opposed to a bright, bubbly thing, which is really awesome. The mix, though, is, we're gonna have to talk about the mix. Bridge. Ooh. It's beautiful. Oh shit. There's a lot of noise in this mix, which is interesting. Interesting. I think that was just for the video. Whoa. Oh shit. That's not creepy or anything. Okay, and then credits. Yeah, the song's great. We're gonna have a talk, though, about some other things production-wise. Production zanybros. I'm assuming that's for the video? Very well done, ladies. Okay. Yes, it's everything that I wanted as far as getting some of that Ring Ring vibe. Again, not that as hard edge as Ring Ring, but different like Ring Ring. The one thing that I find interesting, though, so in the beginning, this is what first set it off. I thought it was just a filtered intro, right? It sounds like you're listening to something through very small speakers, even like almost like a laptop speaker, right? The smaller the speaker, the less bass, right? So I was wondering, like, is this just a filtered intro? Let's check this out again. gonna be over here. Right here. Sounds like laptop speakers. Okay, so everything is very thin. The bass sounds cool, but there's no bass in it, right? And it was a nice change when they actually added the sub bass in, coming up in a few seconds. Okay, so they brought in bass, but it wasn't enough for me. It didn't fix what I'm hearing. So essentially this radio type effect, this small speaker sound effect that's all over the mix, still stays. All they did was add sub bass to the actual bass instrument itself, but the girls, everything else doesn't get fatter. It all stays in that small speaker sound range, which is very interesting. So let's go back and hear the transition again. Yes, it all stays the same, which isn't a bad thing. I'm just trying to figure out what they were going for, because as it goes on, the vocals, for some reason, they're very hot. And I don't think it's just the vocals. I think it's the entire mix. It's very hot, so much so that it's distorted all over the mix, which is interesting. I have on my mixer, I usually have my knob for YouTube, the audio that we're hearing for myself, halfway, so it's at 12 o'clock. For this song, it's at about 9 o'clock, because the louder you turn it, and I was playing with it while we were listening to it, it just gets more distorted. So I'm wondering if this isn't maybe an error in the coding for the upload to YouTube. Like, I'm wondering if it's going to sound this way in the streaming services. I don't think I can find it, but there was a very apparent section where one of them said something and bam, like it was just instant distortion. I don't think I can find it though. I'm going to try though. Let's see here. I think it was right around here, because this was interesting when she picked up the microphone. Yeah, it's a weird approach. Right here too, right here. Not only is she powerful, and she's more of in a yelling register, which is fine because it suits the rap. Like it suits the power they're trying to portray. You don't hear that all through the song. So we've talked about that before, where in some groups, some songs, they're just yelling all the way through. They're not doing that. This is for effect, but you can really hear it, and I bet it gets worse when you turn it up. That whole mix just starts distorting right there. It's an interesting take on vocals, and I don't understand what it is they're going for. So I'm just trying to sort it out. If you're new here, we nerd out about audio here. I do. I've been a musician for 20 years, so I love the song. If you want to, you feel free to leave now if this isn't your thing, but I need to figure this out. But I do love the song, and it's a really cool comeback for them. So let's go back. And that... yeah, it does start to break up. Right there. Okay, that's where it is. Listen to her line. It really starts to break up. And there's a difference. Distortion and saturation is added to all instruments, right? It creates an energy where sometimes there's not an energy, or it just adds vibe, right? Or it makes something more powerful that's already powerful. But listen to her line. Like, I just turned it up to where I normally have it, and the whole thing just kind of just disintegrates. It falls apart audio wise, sonically. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what it is they're going. Usually, you'll hear things like this in metal. I know in Tool albums, you'll hear that where everything is maxed out, everything is very loud, and the audio distortion, like the breaking point, is lower because the mix and master is so high, right? You turn up an audio signal and there is a breaking point, it's going to distort. And this breaking point is very low. And I'm just wondering what they're going for energy, right? Like, were they going for more of a rock mix, kind of like what we got in Ring Ring? I'm just wondering why the vocals and everything else other than that, the bass itself, is so thin and so radio effect sounding. It's really interesting. It's kind of distracting, but that's why I didn't want to comment on it until after we heard the song. The song's great. It's really cool. I really love that it has a Billlie vibe, and it didn't go where they kind of try to trick us into thinking it was going into this bubbly type of chorus. It did the Billlie thing, which is signature and which is awesome. But yeah, there's something about the mix. I'm gonna go back right after this and listen to see if it's just the YouTube upload, or is this gonna be how it sounds in the car and everything? Because it's very interesting. It's not necessarily listen breaking. You know, like, it doesn't mean I'm not going to listen to it, but I'm just trying to figure out what their thinking was behind it, because K-pop doesn't usually make mistakes. So this was done for a reason, it was done for effect, and it was approved by the higher ups to be released. So I'm just trying to figure out what it is they're going for, because to me, just as an audio person, it is distracting, and there's not a lot of power in the mid-range, and I'm just wondering why that is. So either way, it's a great song. We're going to move on to the other 4 songs, and we'll do that next. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you next time. Peace.